Alrighty, so last time on Driven Garage, I finally revealed the new concept of my G Patrol and showed you guys the new look. This episode, we're gonna go a bit more in depth about how we are building this car. In fact, I'm actually gonna introduce you to Richie, the man behind it all.
Hey guys, you might know me, Richie from Radius Fabrications. You want to know a lot about products like our snorkels and airboxes, mainly all our diesel performance stuff. We're just going to give you a little bit of insight into some of the other bits and pieces we do that you might not know. Built a lot of cool cars over the years, the off-road racing, and helped a lot of guys finish cars and nabby race. So some of the other cars that we also have been working on as a trophy truck and doing a hot rod for my wife. Some of you might have even seen my Ford Bronco.
As you guys will see, Richie has a real passion for fabrication and not in just one area. He's got skills across so many platforms. Honestly, there was no better person to bring the ideas I had in my head to life. So, how do you even start a job like this? And what actually goes into building a custom setup from scratch? Well, the first step, strip down the car and get it to Queensland. Once the Patrol was dropped off and in Richie's hands, I started going back and forth with Radius Fabrication, talking through exactly what I wanted to do with the car, how I plan to use it, and throwing out all the ideas I've been holding on to. The goal was to create something a bit different and something outside of the norm. Luckily for me, Richie is a guy full of ideas and he's seriously passionate about this kind of stuff, which made the whole process 10 times easier.
So Bree come to us with her car, giving us an opportunity to build something a bit different. Obviously, she wants something that she can go wheeling in and also something that would be practical to drive on the road. One of her things was she wanted to still go camping, so she gave us a bit of an idea of having like a rooftop tent, all her recovery gear. She needed to take a tyre, onboard water, compressor, all spare parts if she breaks an axle, tail shaft and so forth like that. What we kind of come up with was running, instead of just like a standard tray and canopy sort of setup with a lift-off canopy, we decided, okay, we'll go with something different that serves two purposes. So we've gone with the whole tube frame that we've built. It's all out of chromoly, 1.75 inch. It's all fully TIG welded, and then we've kind of gone with a off-road race sort of look, like you would with a trophy truck or roll cage style, and then mounted the fiberglass sort of pre-runner style guards to it. All of the tube that we've used, like I said, is chromoly. It's all been designed after we 3D scanned the car. We've done all this design in CAD and everything's laid out, and we've got a load path on with all the intersecting tubes of where the layout is, so we can do a strength test and work out if there's going to be any cracks or load forced against the side of the car if she hits a tree, hits a rock, rolls over, anything like that. With the design of the tube itself, basically once they're prepped, they get tacked together, it gets welded, and then another tube gets laid over top, gets welded, and so forth. So basically what we're going to do here is we're going to put this frame together. This is all 4130 chromoly, and as we do put it together, we like to weld everything underneath before we lay another tube over, so that we aren't just laying tubes and just continuously welding around it. Everything will get welded from the inside, lay a tube over, and then we'll do another pass over top of that. So we don't just tack the frame together and then do one pass. Everything is welded with another tube over top. Some joins might have 7 or 8 welds, so that every single part is fully sealed and welded up, so you're not just joining the tubes together and just doing one pass and then having it crack from the inside. We have our own CNC laser in-house, which is a tube laser as well. So we cut all that in-house, laser notched, got that together. We were able to get it on a jig table and start assembling it. So with that, there was a lot of prep of cleaning tube, getting mill scale off, that sort of thing. Sat it on the jig table, we get it tacked together, and then from there we test fit it a couple of times, make sure that everything's gonna fit. Get it back on the car, check it, make sure it's fine. Like I said earlier, that was all TIG welded. Get that to a point so that everything underlaying is already welded. So when we move on to the next stage, we don't have to pull this thing apart.
As you can see, there are quite a few steps involved when it comes to designing a custom setup, and a lot of work that happens before it even starts to resemble something close to a car. The key with any custom job is being crystal clear on how you're actually going to use the vehicle and what you need to carry. That's where it all starts. In my case, Richie had all the info he needed from the get-go, how I used the rig, what I wanted to carry, and what I didn't want to compromise on. From there, it was all about figuring out weight distribution, how much space is actually usable, and how to make it all practical. Another crucial part of the build, especially for off-road use, was strength. Richie set up the chromoly tube frame in a way that gives it a proper load path so it can actually stand up to big hits and harsh conditions. It's not just about looking good, it has to work. And honestly, that's exactly why I brought Richie in, because stuff like that, way above my pay grade. So now the plan was locked in and Richie had the basic frame sorted. It was time to shift focus to the parts that were going to make it look like an actual car and start bringing the vision to life. This is where things get real detailed, and we're talking about dialing in storage solutions and thinking about how it's all going to function day to day and finding the balance between a clean, tough look on-road and the practicality it needs off-road. It's the nitty-gritty stuff, but it's also where the magic happens.
So as you can see with the design of this, some of it on this side here, it's all been sheet metal. We're still going to do the other side, but with this here, we've tried to make it where if she's forward driving, once she gets back, you can basically pull these Zeus clips out. So these are just like a quarter turn fitting. You can pop those, they're like a spring loader loaded on the back. Take those panels off and clean it, and basically once it's all dry, assemble it again. No water and mud stuff getting trapped in there. With the design of the sheet metal, we want to do something a little bit different because it's all individual pieces to take it off. It's quite light gauge aluminium. But we bead roll this with a machine that we have here at the shop. So you might have seen it it's no different to a firewall or a floor panel in a vehicle. By bead rolling it like that, it's going to add a lot of strength to it. So we keeps the weight down, but also adds a lot of strength. So we basically bead rolled all the panels. So for that reason, that she doesn't have panels just flopping around in the car if she's hit something or runs into a tree or something like that. Once we start the design, obviously work out where weight's going to be and how practical it's going to be able to be used. And that will kind of give us a bit of an idea of like our layout and the design and what material we're going to use and so forth like that. With this particular build, we obviously had the fiberglass, so we had to come up with a design that's going to work good with and without the fiberglass. Also, carrying the tyre, all the spare parts and stuff like that. So we had to work out how we're going to package all this together where it's going to be easier to be able to get the parts out if she needs to, and store the parts where you're not going to be moving 100 things to get to something. Having stuff like water on there as well, making sure there's room underneath the frame to make sure you can put water pump, tank and everything like that in there. Being able to run any sort of lines, air lines, fuel lines, anything like that, making sure you can get to all that. And even just as simple as mounting the rooftop tent, making sure there's enough room that you can get to the latches so you're not breaking a nail trying to get the top open. So
That's great. Nailed it. Quite literally, pun intended.
So basically when we're doing the design, and it's like anything that you build that's custom, there is a lot of trial and error. So sometimes you can build something, you have to go back and tweak stuff or change stuff, and depending on how the person's going to be using the vehicle. So the way we've done the design here is obviously once the fiberglass panels are off, that's all the tube work and the sheet metal. You would have noticed that it comes down from the side. It does step in, but the way the bar works, tape it here, and then it all tapers back towards where the taillight is. The brush bars and sliders will eventually run all the way to the back of the vehicle here. So if you're coming down, hitting a rock or against a tree or something like that, that's going to keep you away from the side of the vehicle as much as you can. Once it gets past here, you're probably going to hit that tyre. That'll either kick you off or it'll come down and hit this bar work. The bar work at the back's tapered that if it comes down to that part there, it'll sort of push you away. Now, if that doesn't work to plan, we go to version 2, which is then we can then assess the situation. From that, we go, okay, back to the drawing board a bit. We change the design and tweak it a little bit and get it to where it can work and be functional. So yeah, really looking forward to jump back into this build and do a bit more on it. It's been really good working with Bree and working on this car. Having a creative mind to be able to build whatever you want. We've been limited sometimes on, whether it's the customer or the road rules with transport or whatever it may be. This has been really good. Bree's been super flexible, so it's been really good to work with her on this job, and I'm super excited to get more of it done. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and if you've got any questions or anything you want to know, or even any ideas that you think stuff that we might have missed that might be cool for the build, Happy to hear it. Get in the comments and let us know. Appreciate it.